All right. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, yeah. I'm just posting online that we're on. All right. Let me post on Twitter and then we're good to go.
Alrighty.
I think my least favorite thing is finding something on either Instagram or Twitter and then it like refreshes and you can't find it again.
Oh yeah. When you like have the post pulled up,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's
It
gone.
it's most of the time on Instagram. But I just saw something on Twitter and I was switching to the Wise Guys account. And I just read in the
Oh
background.
yeah.
I saw Gigi Jackson's name and I was like, "Oh god. What is it?"
I saw him the last rankings I looked at, he was like 29th.
Yeah, he's fallen a little bit.
Just a bit.
Are any of your guys in the draft?
No.
No.
All either came back or are not good enough.
All right. There's always someone on Twitch.
Really?
Yeah. If you're out there right now listening, give a little comment. Say hello cuz you're always there no matter what. All right, you ready?
Oh, did you see the golf stuff? Like the live
Oh,
and
yeah. You
PGA
want to talk that
merging?
too?
Yeah.
All right, let me add that to the description real quick.
This font
A little classy.
is very classy.
All right, you ready? Sweet. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Psych. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I am your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
You guys doing?
Doing pretty well, Chris. We have a competitive finals just to jump right into it. And I guess I should have said it was a great party on Saturday. We had a great time.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. But
Glad
yeah,
everyone could make it out.
yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. Seeing all the we need the high school guys together more. But anyways, nobody cares about that. NBA Finals. We have a tied series, 1-1. Denver finally lost at home. Miami figured it out. And Chris, what happened? How did Miami figure this out? Huh? Hello?
You got me? Disconnected for a bit.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. Great way to start. But basically exactly what we said, and we kind of like we didn't necessarily predict this would happen, but we brought it up as one possible way that Miami could beat the Nuggets team, and that's allowing Jokic to score as many points as possible and forcing him to be the only one that beats you. He scored 41, I think, and every time he scored 40 in these playoffs, they've lost. Almost like a magic number where it works the opposite way. It's like, oh, if he scores this many points, they actually lose. That's because he's such a good playmaker, and you force him to be the best scorer on the team, and he's not making as many plays. You're taking away the passing lanes, just clogging offense up with the zone. So then he's getting good looks, but from 2, and he gets gassed. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say we were right. We were kind of right.
No, I think it's one of those times where normally if it's, if we predict something, it's either dead wrong or it's at the beginning of the season and we take a victory lap later. This was one of the rare occurrences where, you're right, we didn't predict anything. We said the way to beat him though is do exactly what the Miami Heat
It took us a little bit to get there.
Yes. Yeah.
We're like talking it through, and then eventually we're like, all right, I guess that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. So it was one of those rare occurrences when I'm watching the game and I'm like, holy shit, did Heat listen to the pod? Like, did they know what's going on? And it was also cool. I love seeing, especially because we went through the whole thing. Every time he scores 40, they lose. We went through it on the podcast, and to see SportsCenter and ESPN and all those guys post it afterwards, like, oh, now he's 0-3. It was cool to be the guys that were like, hey, we were the ones that told you they're 0-2. Just saying.
Literally.
And the only thing I thought of was, damn, we should have made a graphic. Should have made some graphic that said something about how to do it. But
we can clip it from the previous episode.
That's true. We put a
sentence where we sound coherent.
Yep.
Like sum it up in one statement.
But yeah, that's exactly what the Heat did. The biggest shock to me was that they kept the zone going. They kept playing with the zone and forcing Jokic to score on his own. And I thought Jokic would see that zone, especially late in the game, and always know where to put the ball. And of course, they were within 3 of winning this game, a 3 that they actually got off. But
I thought that was 100% going in.
Oh yeah, it seemed like. By the way, awesome game. If you were complaining about the matchups of the NBA Finals, you're a loser. This has been an awesome game. It should be a good rest of the series, but you're right. Yeah, that 3 looked like it possibly could have been going in. We could have been going to overtime, and it's just the Heat. They always find these ways to get in these teams' heads. Shooting 39% from 3 for the Nuggets, not good. The Miami shooting 48% for both field and free throws. Just really all around team effort. You look at it, 3 guys in the 20s. That's exactly how the Heat want it. They want it close coming into the 4th, and they rallied in the 4th. They had 36 points in the 4th quarter. Really, it felt
like they never missed.
No, and it was funny because it was almost start of the 4th quarter. Duncan Robinson, 0 all game, 3 points last game. We were talking about how he needs to step up. Scores 10 points straight, pretty much in the 4th quarter, getting layups, getting open threes, yada yada yada. And then it turned into a game where it was actually the Nuggets that were crawling back, and it was the Nuggets that were creeping up at the end, and all of a sudden, Nuggets are down.
Felt like every shot that Jamal Murray was taking was going to go in. He had that one kind of off balance where he flipped it up off the glass and he hit 2 threes in a row. I was like, oh man. When he got the ball on the last possession when they didn't foul, you're up 3. They had forced him out almost to half court. Butler went for a steal and I was like, why is he not fouling?
Yeah.
A few seconds left, foul him, put him at the line, then you get the ball back, shoot your free throws. By then they have half a second left. But got off a good look, and we're lucky it didn't go in.
It also, would you expected for them to call a timeout there? 2 timeouts taken into nothing at the end of this. Taken for game 3, getting ready.
I always like just in them play as the offensive team because I'd rather have my best player just try to go get a shot off and draw up a play, but also allow them to set up their defense. That's my philosophy. It could go either way, but
yeah, that makes sense. Let them set up their defense. They could also, if they called a timeout, they could have just been like, all right, well, here's the foul now, and here's now you're screwed.
That is the other thing is maybe wasn't in their heads, everything's going so quickly. That I saw somebody tweet also that this game there were no timeouts, no reviews, and like felt like the last 5 minutes, which is crazy, but incredibly refreshing to not have like every play reviewed and timeout after every bucket. So
Yeah,
maybe the
that was
game was
great.
just moving so fast, like that wasn't even something they were thinking about. I guess if Spo yells out foul, 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 then whoever has the ball is going to try to go up for a shot as they're fouling, and then they get 3 free throws, which is worst case scenario. There's a lot of things to analyze on a play that was like 15 seconds long, if that. I would have fouled.
Yeah, and you're right. Spo's calling foul. It's all of a sudden Murray's chucking up a 3, getting ready for the foul.
Right. As soon as he goes for that steal, he's just leaning into it, putting up the 3.
Yeah, this is off topic, but I gotta call off the comments. My girlfriend actually said very Aladdin of the font today. We were just talking about the font ourselves, complimenting ourselves. It's a nice font. It's a good font. But anyways, back to the game. Michael Porter Jr., 5 points, terrible shooting performance. What was he? 2 for 8, 1 for 6, and just really, 0 assists. He wasn't really helping him. He was getting lost on defense, and I don't think he's gonna get 5 points another game this finals. He should probably get his 15 or 12 at least. But if you don't have him hitting wide open threes, then that's also an issue. That could be why Jokic couldn't figure out the zone, or maybe didn't want to dissect the zone. Maybe just he figured, hey, because him, Porter Jr., Caldwell Pope, they were playing terrible. Aaron Gordon actually hit a clutch 3 at the end to put them closer in the game. But when those two shooters aren't getting it, maybe that's why the zone was working. Because the zone leaves out wide open 3-pointers, and if they're not going in, it's all on Jokic to just get to the bucket. And as you said, looked pretty damn gassed out there.
Yeah, and something that we did say at the end of the last podcast, at the end of our whole conversation about like how Miami can slow them down, is if you don't hit your threes, you're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami shot at least 50% from 3 and did not miss in the fourth quarter. So at the end of the day, that's why they won.
Yeah,
we can analyze the defense and the matchups and stuff like that. But like I said last time, it's a simple game.
Mm-hmm. It's a make or miss lead.
They did not miss in the fourth quarter. And yeah, Porter's been awful the first 2 games. It's weird because Miami's like wanting Kevin Love is like the defensive stopper, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that. I think it was just because it was just literally simply based off height and numbers, where Kevin Love is 6'8" and Michael Porter Jr. is 6'10", and they need some guy that's close enough to get to Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, because Caleb Martin,
he's
that
just
guy.
Getting cooked. Speaking of getting cooked, Cody Zeller, they need to just survive. The Heat need to survive those minutes when Bam Adebayo is not out there, because, and we've given our fair share of crap to Bam Adebayo, but he's the best guy on Jokic. Great offensively this series so far.
Throughout the whole playoffs, he's been the best guy.
Yeah, we should give him his props.
They faced.
He's been giving him we should give him his props. But yeah, Cody Zeller out there, barbecue chicken alert. That is not gonna ever really fly with when you have him out there. And
yeah, I saw a tweet that was like he went right at him 5 straight possessions and scored 5 straight possessions.
Yeah, how could you not?
It's like 3 points.
Yeah, how could you not? They had, Caleb Martin is fallen back down to earth officially. He had 3 points again this game. Strus came up though. Gabe Vincent was huge this game, and Jimmy Butler too. Jimmy Butler clutch in the end. He didn't have a excellent game, but towards the end of the game, made it when it mattered. I think that one was pretty cheap. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't look like he touched him at all. I don't know who was directly defending
Butler one or the Bam one?
The Butler one. Butler has like a little jump hook from the right side of the basket and just kind of spreads his legs. Okay. And they were like, oh, that's a foul. So I thought that, and we were just complimenting the flow of the game and stuff like that. I thought that was the one call where I was like, whatever. But I guess it's 1 point in the grand scheme of things compared to they won by 3. So
the thing about Butler that's weird is he really did not have a good game, and then even though he didn't play well, you go into the fourth quarter and you're like, oh, he's got it. He could be shooting 1 of 15 with 2 minutes left, and like, oh.
You still want the ball in his hand in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. He's just a killer.
And, yeah. I think he's become this not real person. He's transcended humanity to the point where people are like literally just believe in him to do anything. Like when he's human, you just kind of ignore it. Like, oh, like it doesn't matter. Still a guy. Until it came down to the MVP voting, and then people wanted to give it to Martin. Like when he has the ball in his hands, and it's like, oh, like I wonder who's gonna take the shot.
That's true.
Like, I remember one possession, I was like, he's not passing, and then immediately he passed, and I was like, oh, and then Lowry just gives it right back. I was like, yeah, okay.
I was gonna say
that's about right.
Even when the one thing that I love about Jimmy Butler, which I need the Celtics to try to do, but when you have Jimmy Butler on the floor, no matter what is going on, no matter how good he is that game, no matter what your offense looks like, how many points you're down, whatever, every single possession, Jimmy Butler touches the ball. Every single one.
Yeah.
His fingerprints are on the ball every possession, and it works. He puts it in the right spot, whether it's him taking the shot or he's passing it to someone else. And yeah, that's what the Celtics need to do with Tatum. Tatum needs to be touching the ball every time. But anyways, we're not.
They know where it's like nobody's shooting until they're wide open.
Yep.
Unless it's him.
Yeah, basically.
He can kind of do whatever he wants. Everybody else, it's almost like have a rubber band. You know how people like try to break a habit, like wear a rubber band and you like snap yourself every time you do it. Like every time you bite your nails or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time somebody takes a shot that's not an open shot, like Duncan Robinson, he like takes a corner three that's contested. It's like zap. All right, not doing that. Only wide open.
Jimmy Butler just goes to the bench and smacks him on the back of the head.
Doing.
But yeah, and that's true with Lowry too. He had just two clutch 3-pointers when they needed them most, wide open. I mean, he can drive in, get the foul call and stuff, so he can do some more. But even him, where he's supposed to be, I mean, when they traded for him, this is, I guess, 2 years ago now when they traded for him, he was supposed to be like the second star or the second ball handler to help him out. And now it's like, nope, actually, you're in the bench, pal. You're gonna hit open shots just like everybody else, and it works. The team likes it. Clearly, they're all in line. They all know their roles, and I know it's probably been said all over the media and it says a lot, but when you have the guys that know their roles and don't care about if they're starting or on the bench, that's why they're the 8th seed playing in the NBA Finals right now.
Mm-hmm. No one's playing hero ball.
Nope. No, and
Jimmy.
Yeah, but Jimmy.
They all expect that.
Yeah, exactly. They know Jimmy's going to be the one playing hero ball and saving them in many moments.
Other thing, just thinking about Duncan Robinson. When in the hell did he learn how to like attack the hoop?
I don't know.
He did that against when he got the N1, and I was like, what?
Yeah, he did that a couple times against the Celtics, and I was just like, great. Like I'm fine with letting him get like a 3-pointer because it's just like that's what he does. But like if he's going to the hoop, like swat that little white boy down. Like come on now. Like and he had another mean mug, which was hilarious.
Yes.
Another frown, and it's funny when he just doesn't like he's a dangerous weapon in the NBA Finals and.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was buried this year.
He was out of the league.
He was on the bench. He was wearing sweats and a long sleeve shirt for half the season because he was bad.
One of the worst contracts in the league. And
what did he get? Like 80, 90 million?
Yeah, I think he got 90. 70. Is it 90?
70.
Let me look it up.
Check. I saw a thread that was like he's
5 years, 90 million.
Because there's certain like incentives in there, like you had to play a certain amount of minutes, and yada yada. But him to be that bad all season and then to step up, and I guess it really started against the Bucks. He had like one or two good games.
Yeah, I remember against
impressive.
the Bucks, it was like, oh, he's kind of back. He had like a 20-point game. It's like, oh, maybe we can see.
They know it's like they know that they need him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, well, let's put him out there, and if he can find that old self, because it's better to try it than to not play him at all. Because when he's good, you're so much better. It is wild how he's an important piece again.
It's I like stories like that. You know, it's always nice to root for a guy who everyone kind of buried. All right. Any other thoughts on the finals? I mean, it is weird that with the zone, and maybe it's just because the rest of the Nuggets weren't hitting anything, but 4 assists for Jokic. With that much zone being played, I figured it'd be like 40 instead of 4.
Yeah, well, it's not like a pure zone because like they have somebody who's gonna like face guard him every time. Then I think like instead of completely collapsing on him, they almost give him a 1-on-1 so that there's no open lanes. And 3/4, like it works, and he's getting a lot of easy buckets. Like he's destroying Cody Zeller. Then in the fourth quarter, he's gassed.
Well,
like,
and
he's no secret he's not the most athletic dude in the world. I'm sure he has good stamina, but he's definitely not like top percentile guy in that aspect.
Well, and when you look at it, the what we were talking about, make or miss league at the end of last time's discussion, and you can let Jokic get as many 2-pointers as he wants if you're all of a sudden in the fourth quarter going to shoot 60% from 3.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
the bottom line is like he could have scored 41. It would have won if Miami doesn't hit 2 more threes.
Yep.
They hit 2 less threes.
Yep.
And then it's a completely different discussion that we're having.
Yeah, we're talking about them going up 2-0, heading to Miami. And
like, oh, Jokic scored 41, put the team on his back.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not like the scenario where we're basically giving Jokic no credit for scoring 40 points in the finals. It's like, that's exactly what they wanted.
It is weird how that, because they like it's just because it's like there's an L next to it instead of a dub. It's a completely different stat line.
Yeah. I remember LeBron getting all this credit for scoring like 40 and 50 in the finals against the Warriors. And this is why I thought of it in the first place, because it was either a tweet or an article that was like, look, they're only letting LeBron score on them. They're completely taking everybody out of this game, just letting him get buckets, but like they're wearing him down. Like that's why Iguodala won MVP that year. And it's like, look at the numbers that LeBron's putting up. They're still great numbers. They've shut down everybody else. By that way, they beat him by like 10 every game.
Yeah, and that was, they had, I mean, LeBron doesn't have a caliber team as Jokic does, but
yeah, no,
it's the same mindset.
Which is why the Nuggets are going to win the series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Miami's home court matters at all. So I think they can take one here. It might be a longer series than I initially thought. Now that they won one in Denver, because I didn't think that was even possible. But are we gonna keep doubting the Heat and they're just gonna be they're gonna be the NBA champions? We're like, I don't know, like they might lose. Like, But it's a great finals, and excited to see. God, the game's not till Friday. Oh, no, sorry. No, game tomorrow. I was looking at game 4.
2 days in between every game, which is so annoying.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Like, last night we had Stanley Cup, and now tonight there's nothing.
Luckily we have tomorrow. No, luckily we have tomorrow and then Friday. But then we don't have another game till Monday.
Oh, okay.
That's a pain.
Yeah. Wait. Okay, yeah, so Monday or Wednesday, Friday. All right, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and then it goes Monday, Thursday, Sunday if necessary, which I guess, yeah, that's brutal. But that all leads up. It'll be halfway through June, and then we're going to be doing NBA mock drafts, mock free agencies, all that crap. So they know what they're doing out there. Because I
Fantasy
think
football.
fantasy football coming. But NBA specifically, they know what they're doing.
Hmm.
The draft is, I think, July 1st. Oh, no, that's like the free agency period. The draft is literally June 18th, and I think the NBA draft has got to be like the 20th something.
Yeah, because free agency's after the draft.
Yeah.
And
So there will be. It is weird that free agency's after the draft, but that's a discussion for another day. It'll be if it goes to Game 7, we will have a finals game, and then 4 days later we'll have the NBA draft. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so they know exactly what they're
That-
doing. They always stay relevant.
That's enough draft time to like not overhype these guys.
No, they do the opposite of the NFL, where the NFL gives you months and months to look at these guys and make every
About
opinion you
nothing but the
possibly
draft.
could have wanted. Yeah, and I guess for a lot of the NBA teams, it has been a couple months, but
For the teams, they're always
Yeah, they're
scouting,
always
and they're
scouting.
always
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, you got a good point.
They need
But for the
that much
fans,
time. Like
there's
the
not
media,
yeah, they do not need.
don't need that much draft coverage. 4 days is perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect.
It's
All
like
right.
1 day of research, 1 mock draft, and then 1 revised mock draft.
Yep. All right. I think that does it for the NBA right now. We have some other breaking news this morning that Twitter was up in arms about. The PGA Tour, or the PGA, I don't know, just the PGA and LIV have come together and are merging into one company. Chris, you know more about golf than I do. Take the reins.
Yeah, I don't know a ton of details about it. It came out of nowhere though. I do know that. Like all of a sudden, I was not expecting this. There wasn't like any rumors about it or anything. I know that some of the major tournaments, like Masters and Koepka, just won the PGA Championship, and they were letting, like, he's a LIV guy, so they were letting the LIV guys play in the majors for some reason. I guess because it attracted more viewership. So it's good for golf now that everyone's back in the same league. It's like I think LIV had the more talented players, or at least the bigger names.
Yeah, because the Saudis kept buying them, right?
Oh yeah, they're like ridiculous amounts of money. But for the PGA to be like have this like moral stance, than to just give in and be like, oh yeah, we'll just merge with them. Like that just shows you that it's all, at the end of the day, it is all about money. And the guys who got offered LIV deals and ended up staying PGA, like got completely hosed. Probably missed out on millions of dollars the last few years, and now it's just re-merging. So it'll be like back to nothing changed, I guess.
Yeah, I think
The
that's
guys
crap.
Who LIV are made bank.
Yep.
And now they're back on the normal tour. I don't know like what changes PGA will have, if it even is PGA still. I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah, I think the PGA executives made a lot of money. Because the players did not. I think that's the way they got screwed.
Is that why everyone's feeling bad for Rory McIlroy? Did he stay in PGA on purpose for the morals, and then now they're?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's crap. I mean, that's bogus. I mean, at least you get to say if you're a PGA player that didn't go, you always have that on you. Like, you know, I always stayed with my moral. Maybe the parent company didn't, but I did. You know, stuff like that. But it's a load of crap, honestly, that they just went back, like because it was kind of like a bashing of these LIV player guys. I mean, I remember we were talking about it in the in Augusta, when they were down in Augusta. They were like, didn't they kind of put the LIV players in their own category?
Yeah,
Masters,
they paired them together so that there wasn't any trouble. Although I think in the PGA Championship they didn't really do that.
Okay, but I don't know. It's weird. It'll be interesting to see if it changes anything about golf. Yeah, and I guess an interesting development for the rest of golf.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better that there's not two like rival leagues. I never
Yeah, and
really
especially
watched.
like I was gonna say, did anyone watch Live?
I'm sure they did, but it definitely wasn't as big of a deal as the Masters and stuff. If you're letting those guys play in the Masters, then like, what's the point?
Yeah, that makes sense.
As for like the rest of the PGA tournaments, but the PGA definitely was losing out on a lot of money because top talent was being put away.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, not to get rid of this subject so quickly, but speaking of top talent, maybe getting pulled away, Chase Young. Apparently, the Commanders are open to trade. Some NFL news. I was itching for some NFL
It's
news.
not
I don't know why.
surprising, is it?
No, they didn't pick up his option. Of course, they should be open for a
Yeah.
trade.
I'm like so tired of just hearing about Chase Young and like having to turn on the DC radio and they're talking about whether or not it matters that he didn't come to OTAs and whether or not they're gonna re-sign him at the end of the year. It's like it's so exhausting. Where just focused on Sam Howell.
So that's what you that's what your mindset. You just don't want to think about
Well, like
I guess it doesn't matter yet. It doesn't matter at all until the end of the season, unless they trade him. But
yeah, I would be shocked if they traded him. I don't think it's surprising that they're open to offers, but they're not going to part with him for like a 4th round pick. It would have to be they'd have to get a lot back. If they were to get a player back, like that wouldn't be end of the world. I'm not like 100% against it either. And then not picking up the 5th year, I guess we already talked about it. It's not that strange considering he hasn't been on the field much. Wasn't like super productive when he was on the field. He was good, showed promise, but this is hopefully going to be really his 2nd full season on the field. So like this is when you can truly evaluate him as a player and evaluate his future with the team.
yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I would be surprised if they traded him. Obviously, I think that they should. That would be stupid because then it's gonna suck. What happens is when he leaves after this year and then he's like a top 3 DN in the league.
Yeah.
You
you
drafted
don't
him
want
at
that to
2.
happen.
He played half the games that he should have with you, and then he's gone and elsewhere.
I think that's the key is to let him play a full year. You know, let him get more reps under his belt, more time seeing him on the field. And as you said, he's missed half the games so far. So that's not a talent problem. That's maybe a training staff issue, who knows. But it's you got to see what you actually have with him before you commit to getting rid of him.
Yeah, and you gotta decide like what's the bigger risk? Is the bigger risk giving him the 5th year or extending him and having him get hurt again, or having him just plateau and remain like a decently productive player that's badly overpaid, or saving? I'm looking it up now. The 5th year option, he was the 2nd overall pick, is $17 million. It's not like chump change. It's not like it's his rookie deal. Well, why would you not give him the? It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that, or the bigger risk, letting him go and then having him be elsewhere. And when you already have Payne and Allen and maybe Sweat that you extend, I think paying him is the bigger risk. As much as that sucks.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
We want to talk economics. The 2nd overall pick is a sunk cost.
Yeah, you can't think of him as
like you already made the pick.
Yeah, I agree. So even with that being said, say at the end of the year, I mean, and the other thing with the NFL, it's not like basketball where it's like, oh, you didn't extend him, he's just gonna leave for nothing. It's just like, oh, we could franchise tag him and trade him anyways. Or franchise.
You'll get, like, worst case scenario, you'll get a compensation pick.
Yeah.
Like a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, that's true. And if he's no good and you don't re-sign him anyways, then that's just what you're gonna have to live with. For a trade to happen and you be happy about it right now, what kind of trade would it have to be?
Maybe one in which they get a player that's in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
Guy who like hasn't lived up, like, how like they just need to change the scenery.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that situation, and maybe you can make a move. I don't have anyone in mind or any team in mind because I've been thinking about it for the last minutes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But young guy that you can bring in, maybe line linebacker.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can plug in and like, all
Hey,
right, new
maybe
scheme.
Devin White. Maybe
Start.
he needs Devin White rumored to request a trade. That'd be a good solid deal.
Hate that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Hate that at all.
But
I feel like he's more established than Chase Young is.
definitely. Yeah, it's honestly like that with that trade, you would probably have to throw in another like 4th rounder or something.
Yeah. But the other thing, we do this with the NFL all the time. I don't know what the hell anyone's value is anymore.
Yeah, that's the issue. There's never
every quarterback is worth $40 million a year. After that, I
even
have no
Daniel
clue.
Jones.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, Ron had come out and said that he will absolutely be a starter this year and absolutely putting their faith in him. So it seems like, as it says in the reporting, open to trade but not looking to trade. Interesting development coming up.
I also don't see them making any big splashes before ownership change.
No, they can't. They need to get those papers in before they do that. Which is weird how it still hasn't happened.
Yeah. Well, they've already signed. It's just the NFL has to look over it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how long that'll take. I'm so caught up in the bureaucratic mess of the NFL. They want it to go through. Like, they're not going to try to hold this up.
Yeah, no, none of them want
Yeah.
Dan to still be there.
Might even sweep some stuff under the rugs.
Just to make sure it goes through.
Like, yeah. There's a couple red flags, and they're just, let it go.
All right. Well, now that we started talking NFL, started talking about guys who kind of need to break out, we're going to discuss and predict our top 5 NFL players that will have a breakout season in 2023. Love doing this just because it's, I don't know, it's like you're back looking at college guys where it's like, oh, like breakout season, like here they come. Like,
and the best thing about it is there's no consequences for us being wrong.
Nope.
If they are breakout guys, then we can go back to this episode and be like, we called it, like we're geniuses. And if it doesn't, then we'll just forget about it.
Yeah, it is kind of the best. All right. I'm going to go number 1. I feel like I've been giving you the number 1 pick a lot.
We got the last 2 at least.
And I'm going with the super obvious one. He's in the perfect position to be a star, in the perfect offense to be a star. And that is Kadarius Toney for the Kansas City Chiefs. If he stays healthy.
2.
Oh, wow.
Tim and then Sky.
Yeah, Sky. I still can't get behind Sky just because
Tony
his
more.
The number. Yeah, I can't root for guys wearing 24 at a wide receiver. Sorry.
Full name, bad number.
Yeah, it really is a terrible combination because it's a great name, Sky Moore. I mean, that's a great football name. But Toney, we saw it in the Super Bowl. Didn't play a ton of snaps, but got almost 2 touchdowns. Fast. He's going to be the number 1 guy in this offense, and he's playing with Patrick Mahomes. So I just can't. You just give me number 1 wide receiver, fast, playing with Patrick Mahomes. Sign me up. Sounds like a breakout guy waiting to happen.
I agree, and I would love to see it happen just because it would be another Giants receiver that completely busted and then goes somewhere else and is awesome. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's literally the perfect offense and system for anybody.
Yeah,
playing. Like a young guy who hasn't done super well yet in his career. It's like, oh, well, what if he plays with Patrick Mahomes and has Andy Reid coaching him?
And
suddenly his prospects look a lot better.
And the best part is, and he also has Travis Kelce on his team. So like even if he's not open,
Yeah.
like we'll be fine. So there's not even that much pressure on him in
For the
his own
Chiefs,
offense.
it's like there's no consequences for him failing. It's like, all right, well, we'll just try a different receiver.
Yeah, they'll move on. It's funny, you could pick, if you look at the Chiefs wide receiver core, besides what's his name? The Marquez Valdez-Scantling. All of the other guys could be breakout candidates. I mean, Justin Ross last year, undrafted out of Clemson, had a lot of promise in college. I think he got injured his last year, and that's why he went undrafted. But Sky Moore, we already talked about. They drafted a guy named Rashid Weiss, but we did make a rule, to be fair, that no rookies are on this. So, yeah. Anyways, Kadarius Toney.
I like that pick. My top pick, actually can go with the number 1 pick from last year, which is Trayvon Walker.
Ooh.
Because I think he got kind of ignored a little bit this year because had
forgot he existed.
Hutchinson go 2, and then Thibodeau was 5, I think, and both of them had better seasons than him. But he said at the time of the draft that like he's the most raw prospect out of this top bunch, and the safe pick would be to go Hutchinson at 1. And the Jags were obsessed with the physical abilities and what he could do someday. So maybe I'm a little bit early on the breakout. Maybe it's next year. But like he definitely showed signs. Like I watched him against my team and absolutely wrecked our offensive line.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Talent's definitely there. This team is the breakout team, I think.
Oh yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yep.
In the Lions, it feels like he's a guy that we might not even notice if he breaks out because it's Jacksonville. Like there's no media attention there. But I think he's definitely a guy that we'll have forgotten about a little bit.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about that he even existed. That's a great pick. And as you said, Jacksonville breakout team. They were the team that was a year too early. It felt like last year, right neck and neck with the Chiefs going in the divisional round. No one saw that coming. No one saw them coming back from 30-0 against the Chargers.
Wasn't that surprising?
Against the Chargers, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but Trayvon Walker, he could be a poster boy for this defense if he breaks out. He could be
Jacksonville 2.0.
Yeah, he could be the next face of that, and I like that pick. I mean, he had only 3.5 sacks last year. Definitely room for improvement, and I mean he's 22 years old. Hutchinson, I guess he's 22 years old too, but it seemed like he was older.
He was a more effective college player.
Yeah, he was. Trayvon was definitely more raw, and he's one of those guys where it's kind of like a basketball player, where he had a good end of the season or had a good stint in some of the season, and you're like, all right, I can see how he could be a star within the next couple of years, and I think Trayvon Walker is a perfect candidate. Well, speaking of the Georgia defense, I am going with a guy a guy I've put my stamp on a couple times, and why back down now? More opportunity in the Philadelphia Eagles for their linebacking room, and that is a perfect opportunity for Nakobe Dean to break out. The Eagles lost a couple linebackers in free agency. They lost Kaiser White, and I think they lost one more. But he fills in, and he could be a starting linebacker this next year. And I'm excited to see if all this hype that I gave him personally goes warranted.
I thought about putting him on my list because I did see one of the NFL.com writers did their all breakout team, every position, like 1 or 2 guys, and he was on there. And it makes sense. Like, he's the opposite of Trayvon Walker. Funny because they played in that same defense. Like, Dean was the best defender on that team.
Yeah.
In college. He was the captain of that defense, and he was the least raw guy. He was the one who made all the plays. You just didn't know how well it was going to translate to the NFL game. But you're right. Like, he's in a great system. the secondaries, they
Well, and he's with the. He said
retained.
he was the leader of the team of Georgia, and now he's with the Georgia defense again. So he's just ready to. I mean, he's been working
Jordan
with
Davis
a lot of these
and
guys.
what's his face, the guy they just drafted.
Jalen Carter and
yeah.
the corner. Crap, what's his name? And Nolan Smith and the cornerback.
Oh, I forgot they got Nolan Smith too.
Keely Ringo. So, and if you look at their, I'm looking at their depth chart right now. They have some good outside linebackers, but middle linebacker, the starter is Nakobe Dean. Just a perfect opportunity for him, and that's as I said right at the beginning of this. I put my stamp on him multiple times already. Might as well throw it one more on him.
Yeah, you just got to ride with him.
Yeah,
you rode with Josh Rosen. I think we're coming up on 3 years.
Oh God!
Since that tweet.
It's yeah.
No, I said a reminder. I'll have to check.
That was
but we're definitely coming up on it.
that one. That was probably
this
my
September.
Worst. Can you read it again?
You said bring back this tweet when Josh Rosen is good in 3 years.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I should do this.
I should do the same thing with Nakobe. Come tweet from today. Come back in 3 years when Nakobe Dean's best linebacker in the NFL.
I search it. It's still there.
I didn't delete it. I'm not going to delete it. My bad takes are out there. They're for everyone to see.
We were just talking about how like we're not. There's no consequences for us being wrong here, but this one's in writing. Much easier to find it in writing than it is on an old podcast clip.
That's fair.
Can't search by audio. But anyway, moving on. My second pick, I think you'll like this one. It's tough because there's 2 guys on this offense that I could go with. I'm going to go with the one that's slightly more bold. I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett.
Ooh.
Another
hey, that's your
year.
Guy. That I got to say.
Is it?
Yeah, you were on him big in the draft process.
I did want him. Yeah. That was me just like needing a quarterback. It got to the point where like you get close to the draft and you see everybody like talking about getting a quarterback and you're like, oh, I just need one.
Yeah. But I like it. I do like Kenny Pickett.
I mean, we talked about it last year. Like he wasn't. I feel like every week we'd be like, is he good? Like he might be.
Yeah,
good.
we couldn't tell.
Right, but this year, like we're probably gonna be able to tell. Maybe not.
We should be able to tell.
Him having George Pickens, who was the other guy I thought about putting on there, might be a more likely breakout candidate. But if he breaks out, probably means that Pickett's gonna have. So, but you have good weapons there. You have Ajay, obviously, who I know you have some issues with.
That's just fantasy related.
But,
yeah.
But you got Deontay Johnson, you got Freiermuth and Pickens. So Tomlin is a good guy to have guiding a young player. Oh, I don't know. I think it makes sense.
Okay, wait. I gotta see the games.
Weird face.
No, because I'm looking at the last part of the season. Okay, wait. It goes. I'm losing my mind here. Oh yeah. The last part of the season, he was what 7? 5-1 to end the season. Starting from the Colts in November, going down to last game of the season. And that could be a Steelers thing. I mean, it's not like he had super impressive numbers. He had more picks than interceptions, which is pretty likely for rookies nowadays. Yeah, I know. But I mean, yeah, maybe he is just good, and but I like the breakout candidate. I think it's gonna help.
They also signed 3 offensive linemen and drafted Broderick Jones.
Yeah, they helped out the offensive line a lot. As you said, Najee
Jones
there.
Not even start apparently.
They have Deontay Johnson there still, who is a good wide receiver. Didn't get a touchdown last year, which makes people think less of him. And they also signed. I mean, it's not. We kind of made fun of him for being a little old, but they also got Allen Robinson to help him out, so a veteran's in there. Pat Fryermuth, as you said, Darnell Washington as well. So they're putting together a pretty solid offense, and if it all works out, Kenny Pickett's going to be looking good in that QB1 spot.
Well, and it's also like one of the most stable organizations in sports.
Yeah. Yeah, we always know they'll win.
Which makes it almost like a safe pick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I like that. And if they can figure out Najee and figure out him with an efficient running game, then they have a great running attack and then help it out with passing. That always helps with passing.
Yeah, they just need to stretch the field a little bit, and Najee will be fine.
I agree.
He's running into 8-man boxes.
Well, for my number 3,
line.
my number 3, I thought this is the guy that you were gonna say because you said I was seeming pretty excited. This is my only Patriot, just because I'm throwing it out there. But Taquan Thornton,
Love Taquan.
speedy, wide receiver. He's pretty 6'2", a lot of speed. Coming out of Baylor, didn't do too much last year. He had a great game against the Browns where he had a touchdown and a bunch of catches. And every time they threw it at him, it looked like he could get the job done. But now Bill O'Brien's out there. He's going to find creative ways to get him open and get him some touches. And really, that's if he gets more touches and gets more targets, I feel like the breakout is incoming.
All right, I'll ride with you on this one. I haven't heard anything about him other than from you. Fairness.
So,
but
look, rookie last year, only 22 catches. He was a second round pick. They traded up to get him. They clearly like him. He's got the raw athleticism. The only thing I guess that dampers it is if we get DeAndre Hopkins, but with the
could be even better though.
That's with the wide receiver core of him, Kendrick Bourne, Dante Parker, Juju, a couple guys they drafted this year. There's room for some guy to take the reins as the number 1, and that it could be Taquan Thornton. As skinny as he is, that could be him.
He's not always bad.
Would you say skinny's not always bad? Yeah, that's true.
Smith skinny.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you're like someone has to step up on that offense. I see an article that says Taquan Thornton's former coach sees Pat's wideout thriving with Bill O'Brien.
Love it.
It's going to be better this year, right?
Offense
has to be better.
Literally by default, it'll be better. I think it would have been better if I was calling plays last year. I've seen a lot of things about him during training camp. Has looked really good, and I know that's training camp, but that makes me excited.
All right, yeah, I'll believe you. I'll expect big things this year.
All right, I appreciate it.
But all right, my number 3, I'm gonna go with one of my Maryland guys, Chig Okonkwo in Tennessee.
Damn it!
Had him?
I had him.
Really?
I've been on Chig.
He's a freak athlete. I mean, we saw he was drafted last year, right? He was a rookie.
Yeah.
I remember like watching his combine highlights last year, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy, like Chigozimo Okonkwo, like looking to move." I was like, "Yeah, I'm used to that. Like, I've seen him play." I just looked up his name to see if there were any articles, and the one was like, he's the only only tight end, not rookie tight end, any tight end to have 3 catches of 40 yards or more.
Just name another
impressive.
Titans receiver.
That's the other thing. It's like somebody has to step up in this offense.
And it's either him or it's Traylon Burks, which we haven't seen much of, and it didn't. Yeah, and
news fest.
But they got to throw to someone, and Chig seems like that guy, as you said. He's
a baller.
He is a baller. He's fast, big, and he can get the ball when they need it. So I'm jealous of that pick, Chris. Jealous.
He's a game wrecker.
It really is.
You say that about defensive guys usually, but I feel like it works for a tight end.
Yeah, and he's like I mean, I just think especially here, there's going to be a lot of people come November and December looking at the Titans and like, oh, who's this Chig guy? Like this guy's been balling.
He'll be a great fantasy pickup in like week 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, when he's on the waiver wire, or I mean, now I might have to store him. Might get it first round.
Deep sleeper.
Yeah,
Deep sleeper.
Comatose sleeper.
There's nothing better than the deep sleeper.
Yeah, no, but especially when it's like the 15th pick or 15th round in the draft, and you're like, all right, here he is, ready for the deep sleeper. Throw out Chig Okonkwo. All right, love that pick. I'm jealous of it. Now, because of that, I'm gonna steal a commander from you, Brian Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay. So you have a different one, but Brian Robinson, he's not gonna have holes in his leg from bullets, so it should be. You mean
that was mean?
What? He played. He played
in a nicer way.
He played good, and he had holes in him. So now he's gonna have a fully healed, a whole off season of training. He's not gonna get shot right before the
offensive
season.
coordinator who will use him.
Yes.
Fully.
Yep.
Like give him the ball more than 12 times a game against the Giants.
Yeah. So
still unbelievable.
All those things, hopefully, comes in with the Brian.
Enemy
Robinson.
was a running back. Like he came up as a running backs coach. Knows how to use these guys. I would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I also said that with Ron Rivera being a linebacker. Their linebackers suck ass. So, anyways. But yeah, no, I'm all in on Brian Robinson. Last year, like they wanted him to be the number 1 guy, and slide Gibson into more of like a weapon,
a bum roll, a bum roll.
Bum. Oh, they wanted him to like return kicks and stuff.
Yeah, last year.
Yes, you're right. Then he got shot, and he missed the first. He only missed like 4 games.
Yeah, and he ended up with.
And when he came back,
700
it took him
yards.
a little bit, but he's
almost 800 yards.
He's built.
Yeah,
he's a strong man.
Uh-huh.
He's a powerful runner. I worry about him getting hurt again just because of his running style, but I'm not going to be pessimistic. I'm all in on Brian Robinson this year. Maybe not like your top fantasy guy or anything, but he's going to be a guy
serviceable back.
Could get like more than serviceable. Just not like probably not much of a threat in the passing game.
Like and that's what you got Gibson
carries, 90 to 100 yards. He's just gonna get you it's like every time you need short gain, he's gonna get you more than you need. Like, and I think it's 3rd and 1. Like we're not running play action. Like just give it to Brian.
Exactly. I think that is also something that your commanders need. I mean, you're going to need a guy in short situations when Sam Howell is under a little pressure to let up the pressure. And if you can get him literally just to get 3 yards of carry, at least 3 or 4 yards of carry, all of a sudden your rookie QB, or I guess in this case 2nd year QB, but hasn't really played, almost a rookie, will be having 3rd and shorts instead of 3rd and longs or 2nd and longs.
He does not go down.
No, you need a lot of people.
2-yard losses into 1-yard gains, which is like doesn't sound super special, but nice when you have a guy like that who is just his legs will never stop moving.
Yep.
I love that pick. I'm all in on him, of course.
Good. I'm glad.
All right, my number 4. I'm gonna guess that you also have forgotten this name.
Okay.
Is another pick early last year draft, Derek Stingley Jr.
Oh yeah, from the Texans, cornerback out of LSU.
Was shockingly taken ahead of Sauce Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we know that he was like he went defensive. It wasn't player, right? It was rookie of the year.
Yeah, he was defensive rookie of the year.
But there was like serious conversation that he would be defensive player of the year. So got all the hype. I think everyone kind of forgot about Stingley. He got hurt too. Get ready, only played 9 games.
Okay, I was gonna say how many games did he end up playing? Because
I think it was remember. 9. Like this is a guy. There it is. Texans Derek Stingley listed on 2023 All Breakout Team.
Nice.
Texans team should be a little bit better than they were last year. I would hope at least you have some.
Considering they traded their first-round pick, I hope so.
a little bit of pass rushing. Hopefully, a little more competence on the defensive side. Second year corner, like there's a reason he was drafted 3rd overall.
And they got
Romeo
Davis or Romeo Dot, whatever their new head coach is from the San Francisco 49ers. DeMeco, yeah, I was way off.
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver. Yeah, I know. But anyways, defensive guy. Hopefully that helps out their defense. And you're right. I think that's a great. I liked Stingley too. I don't know what it was. I think it was that one LSU year where he was. I mean, everyone on that LSU
cornerback
team.
Name too, Stingley.
Yeah, Derek Stingley's a great cornerback name. But yeah, I agree. I think that's a great candidate, and hopefully, like I feel like these guys that were on pretty good teams in college and drafted this high. It's always a shame if they bust so early. So it would be cool to see him break out a little bit.
Yeah, and it's not even like he busted; he was just hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he played well games that he was on the field. Oh, ready for this? Texans cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. deemed stud by veteran teammate.
Nice.
Ward. I'm a stud.
That's the stuff you want to see.
As long as that hamstring doesn't hang around.
Yeah.
Not allow a touchdown.
All right. This last
All pro next season.
All pro.
Pro
Bowl. All right. Bro, Pro Bowl? All right.
Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Lower. Yes.
We got a lot of second-year guys, and I guess those are like always the breakout years.
I think all mine are second-year guys.
Besides Kadarius Toney, mine is not. But my last one, it almost makes you want to pick someone else, but it's fine. That's how it is. They're the best ones to break out, But Drake London. Oh,
you hated.
I hated Drake London, but I enjoyed his last. He proved me wrong.
To see you wrong again.
I go back on him and then he sucks again. That would be awful. Yeah, I was so
just
out on
threw away all his motivation.
That's true.
Oh, the wise guy is now bored with me.
He was good last year. I will swallow my pride. He was good last year, and now that he's good, I'm expecting bigger things. They now have almost every position on, and I honestly, this could be a Kyle Pitts breakout too.
The thing that we have to be careful about is the sophomore slump.
Yeah, I guess, but with wide receivers specifically, it seems like their second year is always the year that they break out and they get to that higher level. I think this could be him or Kyle Pitts, either one. They have now just too much stuff. The only thing that ruins this is if their quarterback sucks. God, I'm blanking on his name.
Very possible.
Ritter, yeah. If Ritter blows, then this is not going to be terrible. But other than that, they have every other position is like literally a top 10 drafted player on the offense. So there's no excuses for this Falcons offense anymore. And it's all because of the Bijan pick. They picked like someone else. Like, sure, whatever. They can still suck. But now, if you're going to do it again and still pick in the top 10 every single year, and you're going to pick an offensive guy every single time, then at some point, it needs to come all together. And I'm not worried about a rookie running back. I think it doesn't really matter if they're a rookie or a second year or whatever. But wide receiver, you got to see that boost. Got to see Drake London helping out Ritter and helping out the rest of this offense.
I like it. I kind of like Pitts more, honestly, as a breakout.
Now, yeah,
I think what we thought last year, and sophomore slump. Like, he was terrible last year. I don't think he even scored a touchdown, but
no, he had 2 actually, surprisingly, but he had 350 yards. So
I think it took its over on receptions.
Yeah, you did. He had 28.
It wasn't even close.
28 receptions.
Runner was probably like 70.
Yeah,
He had 28 catches the whole year.
yeah, the whole year.
Hurt?
He was hurt for a little bit, I think, but I don't remember
That's
how bad.
pretty bad.
It still was pretty bad, I think, no matter what. But yeah, I think that being said, that is a little combination pick, I guess, a little cheating, but
Yeah.
I think Kyle Pitts is a great breakout. It's one of those, as you said, sophomore slump. Everyone's down on him. No one, like, especially in fantasy, there's going to be a ton of people who are scared to draft him, and probably, honestly, including me. But that being said,
yeah,
it could
I'm
be
not
always,
listening.
it could be a guy who comes in and proves everybody wrong. Before we get to your pick, since we're talking about the Falcons,
Okay.
did you see that they're not going to wear the gradient uniforms anymore?
What are they going to wear?
Like, they announced, instead of wearing their gradient uniforms, they're going to just wear their home ones, away ones, and then the Dirty Bird ones, where they're the throwbacks. But why have you made the gradients last year or 2 years ago?
Oh, like, okay, I see what you mean.
So
I don't know.
I don't get that. And I kind of liked the gradient. I thought the gradient was cool. It was unique. Something we haven't seen in a while.
It's unique. I didn't like when they changed it in the first place.
No, neither did I. But I gotta admit, I'm looking at Kyle Pitts pictures, just like pictures right now, and those white uniforms look real nice.
Look nice.
Yeah, they look real sleek.
The old school helmet though is so cool.
Yeah, that
I
is
just don't
always
like.
cool.
The only thing that I have not liked is the ATL.
Yeah, the
front of the
ATLs.
jersey.
Yeah, I agree.
Not my thing. Other than that, I think they look good.
Yeah. All right.
Right, we can eventually we'll have another uniform podcast, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, the second there's a new uniform drop, we'll have one.
I guess we had one with the XFL, but that feels like a while ago.
Feels like ages.
The NBA, I'm sure, will release new uniforms.
Oh, they will. They'll do it probably right after the draft.
All right, rounding up, top 5.
Here comes the commander.
I haven't gone with my Commander's pick yet. I have to ride with my guy. If you're not optimistic, if you're not hopeful, then like, what's the point of being a sports fan, right?
Is it Dotson?
Nope.
Ooh, okay.
That's why I'm going Sam Howell.
Oh!
My breakout candidate.
Love it!
Said no rookies. He played a game.
He did.
Sat the whole season behind some vets, some true pros at quarterback, and Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke.
I was gonna. I blocked that out of my mind that Carson Wentz was ever on the football team.
I was just thinking about it because I remember we were talking about the Pats, like the offensive play calling, and I remember I think it was Cowherd, maybe someone on ESPN. Before last season, they did their top 5 concerns going into the season, and number 1 was Carson Wentz, and like number 3 was the Patriots offensive play calling. And that just like burned into my brain because I was like, "What? Like, no way."
So what you're saying is he's gonna break out just because he's not Carson Wentz, and he's gonna hopefully be able to throw football forward and not be Carson Wentz. I like it.
Yes, he's only played 1 game. Yes, he was a 5th round pick. But this is I will fighting with this point that he would have been a 1st round quarterback. North Carolina didn't lose all the receivers in O-line. So they got him with a value pick in the 5th round.
We debated him in I think we did like top 5 quarterbacks in 2 years ago's draft. Because this is when you were on
my top 5.
Yeah.
You were like, ugh, like Sam.
Yeah.
You'll be eating those words.
No, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting
the most athletic guy in the world. No, I know. But he can move. He's got a really good arm. That one clip of his throw to McLaurin against the Cowboys, just the clip that I could watch over and over and over again. That gives me hope. But you have receivers in place. Like, you have McLaurin's a top 10 guy, not top 12. Watson had a really good year last year. He was hurt a little bit, but when he's on the field, he was awesome.
Another breakout.
Curtis Samuel. That's right. Curtis Samuel he's he's fine. He's a great third weapon. Logan Thomas, like he's a fine tight end. You signed O-line guys.
Hey,
in
I
free
like Cole
agency. They're
Turner.
not-
You know Cole Turner?
Like Cole Turner?
Yeah, I like Cole Turner.
Why?
I don't know. I just like him. Sorry.
I have a couple guys that like maybe will be decent. Turner, on Bates.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit last year.
I don't know why. I think it was in Madden. He like caught everything I threw to him. Cole Turner. So I was all for it. Out of Nevada, right?
I don't know.
Whatever. Doesn't show it. Anyways, yeah, he's in place. You have the weapons around him. That's
At the enemy
what you need.
now, you have a real offensive coordinator. You don't have Scott Turner, who I always thought was a scrub. Hopefully going from one offense to another doesn't screw him up too much.
Are you worried that Ron is going to start Jacoby Brissett over him? It just seems like the ultimate Ron move. We got to go with the vet, the proven guy, the guy that'll get us.
Yeah, it kind of does.
But especially, I'm the only reason why I say that is because one of the articles I was looking at says they're not committed to a QB1 yet.
I saw today. I think he said something that it was like a coin flip.
But I like
it.
Jacoby
Brissett. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be the starter. I mean, if Jacoby Brissett beats out Sam Howell, then
you have your answer.
My hopes crushed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's clearly not good enough.
No, and honestly, if you guys go with Jacoby, I mean, just get excited about Caleb Williams. At that point,
I don't know. They could be okay with Jacoby.
No, that's the issue, though. That's the issue.
Than Heineke and Wentz.
Yeah, but isn't that the issue?
They were 7-10.
He's not. Yeah, but you want to go 7-10 again? Go 8-9?
No. Don't.
Right. Anyways, Howell's gonna be the starter. He's gonna look great. It's all gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
You're crushing this pick.
I'm sorry. No, I like it.
It.
I still like the pick. I'm just saying Ron Rivera is.
I know that I'm being ridiculously optimistic, and that he probably.
But you gotta be.
Why not?
Yeah, you have to be.
I'll be able to tell in game.
He switched his helmet to the one that like doesn't have the visor. It's just like a visor up here instead of like any bars. It looks pretty cool. So I'll give him that. All right. Well,
yeah, I also read a quote from BNB that was like hyping him up. He's like, he knows every time he makes a mistake, he knows, and he autocorrects. Autocorrects. I was like, oh yeah.
All I have to say.
It does.
Patrick Mahomes played one game his first season. Sam Howell played one game his first season. Patrick Mahomes, when he was the starter, Eric Bieniemy was his offensive coordinator. Sam Howell, now that he's going to be the starter, his offensive coordinator is Eric Bieniemy. So the writing's on the wall.
One more, right?
Yeah, the writing's on the wall. Yeah, we gotta find a third. You're right. 2 is just a coincidence. 3rd is a trend. We need to.
Mahomes was a first-round pick that they traded up to get.
Yeah, that's true. But all right, my mission come Friday is I'm gonna come in, start the pod with the third, the trend that'll make Sam Howell confirmed the next Patrick Mahomes.
Love it.
All right,
be all in.
Honorable mentions. What do you got?
I just had one because I didn't think you were gonna take any of my picks. Rondell Moore, Arizona. We are getting rid of Hopkins.
Yeah. Someone's got to catch balls there.
Now. That's another one like Chig.
Yeah.
Got to catch balls. I also I remember him at Purdue and he was awesome there. So it's just really short.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone on that offense is short. My only other guy, actually, you stole Chig and Kenny, so those are my. Chig was
on yours.
Yeah, he was an honorable mention. Chig was on the list. I had to move up Drake London, but I'm gonna add one more, and it's gonna be Shi Smith from South Carolina on the Panthers.
Of course.
Let's go.
What about J.C. Horn?
J.C. Horn, yeah. Actually, crap. I was gonna add him to my list. That's a great.
I was assigning to him and Stingley.
Yeah, I think J.C. Horn's a great pick. He was injured last year a little bit. Been a star every time he's played. Should be, if the Panthers are any good, should be hopefully a household name in the cornerback department because I think he's pretty damn good. But yeah, him, Shi Smith, Terrence Marshall on the Panthers, LSU guy. I like him breaking out. Panthers have a couple that could do that, but
I love how like every one of these names that I look up, there's an article that's like so and so is on the list of breakout candidates.
It was, yeah.
That's just the offseason. Terrence Marshall Jr. could be a breakout candidate.
Yep.
Like, who is not a breakout candidate?
No, there really is. Like, you could name anyone. You can name anyone that is within the first 2 years of playing in the NFL, and someone will say that they are a breakout candidate. Panthers, Shi Smith named surprising breakout candidate for 2020.
I saw Sam Cosmi, one of the offensive tackles on PFF's
I saw that too.
List. I was like, "Oh, all right, like that."
I was looking and I saw a couple offensive linemen, but like,
yeah,
I wasn't gonna pick that. No. Like, that's lame.
There's like the one guy on the Jets, one of their guards. I forget what the name is.
Oh, easy 1-2, Breece Hall coming back from an injury.
Yeah, but he kind of already broke out.
Yeah, he was pretty damn good.
We'll see. Elijah Vera Tucker.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Is he the guy they drafted?
Yeah, they drafted him last year, and then he got injured. He was just like Bryce Young and got injured, I believe.
I saw that, and I was like, "I'm really gonna put like this guy on that list."
All right. Well, Bateman? Yeah. A couple of my Ravens friends said they wanted to put, because I asked a couple of my guys, what, and they were like,
hold up the council.
Yeah. They're like, oh, Bateman and Kyle Hamilton. I was like, Kyle Hamilton was like pretty damn good last year. So
Tyler Lindenbaum.
I don't know if that counts. Oh yeah, and they also said Ben Cleveland, one of their guards. I was like, come on, I'm not picking a guard.
It's like the old the Jay Gruden quote when he was talking about he was talking about Scott McCloughan when they fired him, and he was talking about like the first round picks that he had made. It was like Dotson and Sheriff, and he's like, well, one guy's played like 10 games and the other one's a guard. It's like the way he said it was so biting. I was like, it's an important position.
It is. It's very important. The issue is, unless you're sitting there crunching film on offensive linemen, and unless he's given up 5 sacks a game, there's no really real way to tell if he's, amazing or not.
Yeah, unless like Eric Flowers, who's just
exactly.
Really horrible.
Yeah, or on the other side of the spectrum, if he's like Trent Williams, where he's amazing, and you could see it.
Yeah, thanks for getting that name up.
Hey, you brought up Eric Flowers. He was on your football team.
He was, yeah. All right. Very different.
Anyways, I think that does it. You got anything? How's Maryland? Did Maryland make it past the regionals?
Oh, we got waxed by Wake Forest 21-6, and then they lost 11-10. Wake is number 1.
I'm just saying, that's crazy.
The worst part about it is I got an alert from like the Maryland Athletics app. In all caps, it was like one of our guys, Nick LaRusso, hit 100 RBIs.
Yeah.
This year, and it was like Nick LaRusso crosses 100 RBI mark for the season in Maryland's 21-6 loss in Wake Forest. I was like, 21-6.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
The Yardcocks.
I'm assuming Wake
won
the. Okay, yeah, they advanced to Super Regionals.
Yep. Carolina advanced.
We lost 11-10 to Mason, which was sad.
That's brutal. No, 11-10. Yeah, that's a brutal game. That's a nail biter. South Carolina won. They waxed the Camels, the Campbell Fighting Campbells. And they didn't even have to play at NC State, which was supposed to be like the big guy in their region, and the Camels beat them, knocked them out, and we didn't even have to see them. So rematch against Florida coming up. We would have been able to host a Super, but Florida won and beat Texas Tech. So now we're going to Gainesville. Interesting. I actually watched the game against the Camels, and they whooped them. It was pretty fun. But
Really?
glad that in Colombia, I mean, we were lucky enough to host. I'm glad we got to beat them and go to the supers.
Nice. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
Had the crushing losses last 3 years. Not that it's like ruining my weekend or anything. I'm not like ride or die or anything.
I think NCAA
sad
baseball. I think
sad for the boys.
Well, that does it.
Not talking about the Wizards at all.
Go ahead, take the reins.
The GM.
Take the reins.
Oh, we hired. I forgot his
Getting
name.
ready for Gigi Jackson.
No.
Getting excited.
But the Wizards now have the president of basketball operations, have a general manager, and they have some other guy that they brought in. Will Dawkins is who it is from the Thunder. Oh, apparently 5 executives are now GMs elsewhere.
5 Thunder executives?
They just like traded Westbrook and traded Paul George and got a bunch of picks.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, especially
like,
their main GM. God, he's got a famous name, but I totally forget what it is. And he's just like praised. Sam Presti just praised as his god because he got a bunch of picks for Russ and a bunch of picks for Paul George. And I guess it worked out. Like they also got Shea and they've drafted well. But it's like it's not like they've won anything yet. And he's praised as like the greatest GM of all time because of this crap.
Yeah, literally. Okay. Wizards will introduce president of Monumental Basketball, Michael Winger, in a press conference tomorrow at 12 or Thursday at 12. So Travis Schlenk, who's I don't know what his role is. But regardless, they have a real front office now. Not just some bozo who's been with the organization for a couple of years. So I'm excited about that.
An outside hire is always nice. Yeah, your checklist, yes. And the podcast had to respond and say it's just a whole rebuild.
I was up late last night and I started like unlocked my like nerdy basketball side and I started reading articles about like Kristaps Porzingis efficiency, and he was really good last year actually, but you have to kind of like balance the analytic stuff and then eye test. He's not a dog.
No,
just not. He's soft. He's not really a winner. Like he was super productive and he's a very efficient scorer, but
do you have a
splits with him on and off the floor like not that different either?
Do you have a draft crush?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, there was some guy, Arkansas guard.
Yeah, Anthony.
His workout.
Anthony Black.
Oh, maybe not Arkansas. Carson Wallace. In Kentucky, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He canceled his workout as the 15th pick. He worked out with the Wizards yesterday. I was like, oh boy. And people were like, oh, did the Wizards make him a promise?
Nice.
I don't know. Anthony Black, I also think that I like.
You know, it's funny.
I haven't done my research yet, though.
No, I haven't done too much research. I've been listening to a little bit, but I haven't done a ton. When you leave the draft and you go, oh, this guy went to Kentucky. Like there's always gonna be hope.
You know who went to Kentucky? What. Jamal Murray.
Dude.
Who went to Kentucky? Tyrese Maxey.
Devin Booker. I think Bam Adebayo went there.
I did go to Kentucky. Aaron Fox went to Kentucky.
Kentucky produces.
Right? Hero?
Yep. Yeah. I believe so. But Kentucky produces NBA playoff basketball players.
Julius Randle.
Yeah. Julius.
Who's the second best player on a playoff team?
Hey, Karl Anthony Towns. If we're throwing guys out there. It's Kentucky. Oh, you're going to on Karl Anthony Towns, but not on Anthony Davis. But not on Julius Randle. Hey, your boy John Wall.
John Wall did go to Kentucky. The other thing that reminds me is that I'm back on Wizards Twitter now. I'm like I guess I've started paying attention a little bit more, and now my feed has like auto corrected.
Uh-huh.
Oh, like you like these guys again. Here you go. Here's Wizards
Yeah.
content. I'm like, oh boy.
It's quick. That
Actually
happened to me.
excited again.
That happened to me. I saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse this weekend. And I was looking at Twitter, like Spider-Man Twitter. Now it's just like half my feed. It's quick. Twitter comes at you quick. You find something, it latches on.
Lon's doing a good job.
Yeah.
I used to be on like Sixers Twitter because I think I was on Phillies Twitter, and then it's like, oh, you must like the other Philly stuff, and Sixers Twitter is hilarious. I would like that stuff.
Devastated.
That would just get pumped into my content. It was a fascinating character arc, like late in the season, like all the Embiid MVP stuff.
Oh yeah,
like, we love this team, yada yada, and then of course the meltdown. But yeah, now I'm getting content, and I'm like finding like Wizards writers that I actually like again.
Are you getting excited?
I have hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Not for like next season. Like I don't think they're gonna be good next year, but that's fine. They might not be good in 4 years. But there's little shimmer of hope. I'm starting to feel bad because I haven't been a loyal fan. It's just been so disgusting.
I was gonna say you have no reason to be a loyal fan. Like, don't worry.
Not that I'm not like bandwagoning anywhere else.
Well, and it's not, and you're also not bandwagoning the Wizards. It's not like you're coming back like when they're like, it's not like you're coming to the championship parade. Like, I've been here the whole time. Like, let's go. And no, you're just having some hope.
Getting back in because I think they're gonna get worse actually.
And that's what you want.
At least I'm hoping that they are.
Yeah, that's what you wanted for years.
Mediocrity is poison.
Yeah, mediocrity is poison. So Bradley Beal, you sent a thing on Twitter or commented to me about something with Jaylen Brown and yada 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 for Bradley Beal. Yeah. I don't want Bradley Beal. I have no interest in Bradley Beal.
He can dribble.
Yeah, he can dribble. I'll give him that. I mean, the issue is I've never seen him in the playoffs besides that 1 year that we went to the play-in. So I don't really know what to do with that. But
he played in the playoffs a couple years.
Okay, but it's like great. Yeah, great. He played in the playoffs a couple years, but it's like I haven't seen him, recently or like finish a season or care anything about something besides not like just scoring the basketball. But
Beal has averaged 23 points in the playoffs.
It's not bad. It's like Jaylen Brown, a little bit less. But what do you like? You want him gone? I'm guessing you want him gone. Just tank.
I want him on the next plane out of DC somewhere.
Does it matter?
I feel bad because he seems like a good guy.
He's been nothing but loyal.
And
speaking of loyal,
he's been nothing but loyal, and that's all you can ask for from your star. I don't think he's a star.
That's the issue. You're paying. You did the fatal flaw, which the Wizards will always do forever, which is pay the guy who's not a star like a star, and then you're screwed.
Not Michael Winger. Michael Winger makes moves for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking at does Anthony Simons, Nasir Little, and the 3rd overall pick sound good to you?
That sounds like a lot of stuff that they're not going to get.
Would you take, like, say it is to go into the Blazers? Would you, like, I would, honestly, if I were you, I would just
take anything.
I'd just take the 3rd pick and be like, yo, give me Brandon Miller. I don't care. Or Scoot, either one.
I'd take Brandon Miller. I think Brandon Miller's going to be really good. Ugh. I hate him, but I would bury the hatchet.
Would you take Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, the 18th pick?
Yes.
I did that in 2K. I didn't get anywhere. I still didn't get anywhere. But,
maybe that's what I'll do. All I have is 2K20.
Oh, you could find a roster somewhere. Just download the roster.
I don't know if I could that far back.
Yeah, that's true. It is a couple years, but yeah, that's what always makes it fun.
$23 is $6.
You got to go in the ESPN trade machine. Try to find.
Yeah, I'd rather just do it on 2K. Then I can watch them win a championship.
All right, Well, a lot of more Wizards talk coming in the NBA draft. So, well, especially when they take Gigi Jackson with the 8th overall pick. It's going to be a lot of fun.
They take Gigi Jackson with the 8th overall pick. All of this built-up enthusiasm.
Oh,
is
it's going to
getting
go down.
flushed down
Yeah,
the
I was going to
toilet.
say, you might actually change.
Although, that's what they never do. They never take the young guy with potential. Aside from Denny, I also read an article about last night that was like, is year 4 the charm for Denny? And the guy was just like, no. It was just like a clickbait title, and then he's like, yeah, like I like the guy, but no. Very funny.
It does seem like it's the end for Denny. And coming into anything to be any sort of star. I'm sure he could be a solid role. He already is a solid role player, but he's not anyone worth the 9th overall pick for, I guess.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got that out off your system. I'm glad that you're excited about the Wizards.
Well, I read that one Jokic article that I sent you that like broke down all the defense stuff, and I was like, I just unlocked this part of my brain that completely nerded out on basketball.
Yeah,
you should have seen the Porzingis article I read, dude.
You sent me that at 1 a.m. for the fans out there, so I knew you were just bored and diving in deep somewhere.
Oh, I was diving in deep. I also watched last night. This is what happens when I'm just waiting to start work. Mm-hmm. Like everyone else has already started work.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing for like a month now.
The Malice at the Palace Netflix.
Oh, I watched that too. It was awesome.
It's
great.
Yeah.
Makes
you feel bad for Ron Artest. Like my opinion did not change at all on him. He's a psychopath.
No,
the other guys.
Yeah, Jermaine O'Neal, you really feel bad for at the end.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious just because that was during the Celtics run, and I just hated Reggie Miller so much already, so it was kind of funny to see him.
They had to make the whole thing about Reggie Miller.
I know.
He wasn't even a part of it.
No, he was in a suit. All right.
Then it's like, they guaranteed would have won the championship.
Oh, that's what it always leads to at the end. These guys weren't spending. Guaranteed championship for Reggie Miller. All right. Well, we can have plenty of time to talk about the Malice in the Palace. We could probably do a review on it.
Yeah.
But
definitely could. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we went an hour 30. I'm telling you, once we start NFL, it gets nuts. Things get nuts. So.
Oh yeah, it does. It gets nuts.
Thank you all for listening. I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see everyone on Friday to maybe there's some NFL news, maybe there's some NBA finals to recap, and who knows. So we'll see everyone on Friday. Thanks for listening.